So what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be looking at this one right here. So it is how I see the US after living in Europe for 5 years. For me, guys, I've been living in Europe for my whole life. Seriously, like I've never left Europe. That's the thing. I've never stepped out of Europe my entire life. Even when I traveled and things like that, I've never left it. So let's see what we have here. Like this guy saying like the US after like 5 years in Europe, and see. Let's see the differences and things like that, guys. Do like the video, subscribe to the channel, guys, and let's get it going.
I just had a nightmare that I had to choose between 40 brands of toilet paper. It wasn't a nightmare. This is the US. I always enjoy coming back to the US to see family, friends, nature. The nature is unbeatable, especially in a place like California. But living in the US is sort of like living in one big Hollywood movie. It's an experience. The good, the bad, and the ugly. And after 4 years in Europe, I'm back in the US at the moment.
So he's been living in Amsterdam and then back to the US. And I just want to mention before I forget, the thing about the supermarkets, like having so many different brands like of toilet paper, you can't really decide, you know? It's like the competition is so much. Like you have like so many toilet paper and you don't know which to go for, you know? So I don't know how that would actually feel. I never experienced something like that, to be honest.
Let me show you how I see the US now. It's time to do some grocery shopping.
Oh, here we are with groceries.
I hop in my car and drive 2 blocks to my local supermarket. And why walk when one can drive? Grocery shopping is an experience, an adventure. You see, I'm used to only 1 or 2 choices of brands to choose from in the Netherlands. Here, there are like 50 brands of everything to choose from toilet paper to sausages to coffee. Let's see, hazelnut, maple pecan. I'm gonna go with caramel spice this time. On one hand, the variety is amazing. On the other, it can take me up to 15 minutes to buy toilet paper.
That is so true, man.
Do you know about our national treasure, Costco? At Costco, you'll find anything and everything in extra, extra, extra large. Everything really is bigger in the US. Plus the free samples, and the cheap hot dogs, and yes, unlimited drink refills. This is...
What? That is... Bro, why do they only have that in America? They should have that in Europe as well. Like, the big size stuff, I mean, when I want to buy something bigger sized, I mean, they only have that one size, you know? So that really is a pain for me. But as well, they have free refills, things like that. That's pretty cool, man, I must say.
America.
Holy crap, the selection is crazy. And while it's really nice to come back and see all this variety in the supermarkets from Safeway to Costco to Trader Joe's, it can be sometimes overwhelming when you have every single possible combination of coffee, toilet paper, and it can take me up to 20 minutes to buy a bag of chips. And the thing about free soda refills, while I still love the concept,
consuming
and I loved it as a child, it's actually not so free because it's going to cost you in the long run in terms of your health.
It's time to go meet some friends for lunch. And on the way there, I see them. Oh my. It's always a shock. The homeless. This is the part that Hollywood never shows.
Wow.
But life goes on. It's part of everyday life in a big city. But I am looking forward to lunch and the food scene in the US.
So about the homeless, that is another thing we don't really see too much in Europe. Well, for me, where I'm living, I don't really see much homeless, like in the streets, if not any at all. I mean, so in the US, if I like see such thing, I'll be like surprised. Like, I'll look at it differently, you know? I know what it is, like homeless, things like that, but I don't know, I'll find it a bit like shocking, you know? That's the word I was looking for.
From Asian to Mexican to everything in between, there is something for everyone.
Oh,
and fast
so
food
greasy,
everywhere,
man.
every block, every mall, every day. No wonder everyone is so big. Damn.
It's
I
actually
gained 20
true.
pounds. but I know I will lose it all when I get back to the Netherlands. And during lunch, my friend mentions her son had an allergic reaction, went to the emergency room. Luckily, he was fine, but they received a bill for $20,000. And then my other friend tells me about the time he fainted, got transported to the ER, and was handed a $10,000 bill. It definitely makes one think twice before deciding to go to the ER. And then we talk about work, which is the most American thing to talk about. And he tells me
Okay, I don't think that is just American, like talking about your work and things like that. That's a casual, like, conversation, you know?
casually, it's fine, same old, had to work this past weekend. Still working 60 hours a week. And I think to myself,
If
60
I
hours a
ever
week?
decide to return back to the US, I think it would be quite difficult for me to adapt back to the American way of life, culture, in terms of working, the number of hours, the stress, the lack of vacation, the fact that people don't take their vacation days. But I do miss parts of American work culture, the drive, the ambition, the energy, being surrounded by people who are very ambitious about their careers. It drove me to become a better person, a more confident person. And to be honest, I do miss that because that is part of my DNA growing up in the US. But it's a trade-off, right? It's a trade-off between, yes, you do make a lot more money in the US, but the trade-off is time.
and then we
That
start
is
talking
true.
about vacation.
I've heard a lot about that. Like in the US, yeah, the pays are good. Like you can rank up in your jobs and things like that. But you work from like non-stop, right? So let's say how many hours do you work? Is it like 5 to 9? I don't know. I don't know how it is in the US, but like you won't have any free time. Like you work, you make that money, but you have no life. You see where the problem is? So you just pay for, I don't know, your rent, your loans, your shopping at the grocery store. I mean, that's all gone just like that. So you don't really have time to actually enjoy your life. Like go out, spend the money you actually earned. I might be wrong here. Correct me if I am, but yeah.
Another friend tells me about his jam-packed one-week vacation visiting 4 countries. And I was like, how is that possible? 4 countries, 1 week? Then I remember. That's how I used to travel as well.
And that's the thing, right? When you don't have that much time, you learn to pack everything in. I remember when I was traveling to Europe during my first time, I traveled to 10 countries in 2 weeks.
That's
because,
crazy.
well, when you only have 2 weeks, you learn to pack everything in. I had this Google Sheets, the agenda every day from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. Every hour had an agenda, something to do. And that's the thing, right? When you travel so far to Europe, to Asia, from the US, and you only have 1-2 weeks, you better make the most out of your time. Now let's get back to paying the bill.
But wait, what the hell is this? Sales tax? Tip?
Sales tax.
Madness. I need to walk off this madness and the
Okay.
lunch. I walk towards Stanford University, which is nearby. I walk, and then I realize that I'm the only person walking. Oh wow, it's a lot further.
Wow,
than I
that is crazy.
No wonder nobody walks in the US. I arrived at campus to see.
Is that actually true? Like, no people actually walk in the US. Let me know, guys. Excuse me.
American universities, especially elite ones, are tourist hotspots. The brand name, the letters, the cost of tuition. It's one of the biggest businesses in the US. And then I overhear some people talking about the most recent mass shooting.
A mass shooting at an American school in suburban Denver.
We are 25 days in, and there have been 40 mass shootings.
It seems like this is the
Jeez,
norm
man.
nowadays in the US. It's sad and it's horrible. And oh yeah, the
That
police,
is horrible.
They beat up someone else again. What's sad is that many people no longer trust the police. And I know plenty of great police officers, but all it takes is a few bad apples to ruin it for the rest of them. Now I wonder what the news outlets
Wow.
are saying, because I've stopped reading the news. It's like this all-out war, CNN versus Fox. You get 2 different stories.
Grammarly now.
Seems like such a divided country nowadays.
This
The
is
left versus the right, Democrats versus Republicans, the police versus the world.
And this is the thing that always shocks me when I come back now. how divided the country has become. I mean, you can literally lose a friend because of politics. The media has done a role in pitting this group versus this group as well. And it's sad because it doesn't
What
seem
he is saying,
united anymore. It seems quite divided every time I come back, and it's sad.
yeah, it's sad. Like, I mean, what he's saying is so true. I can understand him, but I don't know. This is like, why does this happen like just in the US? I mean, countries in Europe don't have that big of a problem, you know, with things like this. For sure, they do have problems, but I don't think it's as much as the US. So I don't know. It's a scary place to live in as well, to be honest. I'm not sure if I could actually do it, like manage it myself, like after living in Europe for so long.
And the thing about the police, well, the police, they have such a bad reputation now when in fact they should be part of the community protecting people. And yes, there have been very unfortunate events that have happened. But when I think about the majority of the police officers that I have met in the past, they've been good people, genuinely good people. And nowadays we tend to label people based on this profession. It's a bias, when in
Okay.
fact, I think it's wrong to do that. I think we should judge people based on their character, not on a label that we
Another
attach
true fact.
to. But yeah, I hope things get better. I don't think so in the short term, but I hope things get better.
But hey, at least public restrooms are still free in the US. It's time to head to the mall to do some shopping.
Okay, so public restrooms free in the US. I don't know. I've never actually seen a place where you actually pay to go to the toilet. Like, no jokes, man.
And say hello to American consumerism and overly friendly customer service people. Shopping in the US is sort of like a game, looking for deals, getting credit card points. It can be extremely fun and addicting. But this is
Okay.
all part of the game of American consumerism.
I see how this is like a marketing strategy in the US, right? Get points, like chase those points, get free like products, things like that.
So be careful, or else you'll be in credit card debt like a dearth of Americans.
Oh
Well, it's late
God.
and it's time to head home. And of course, there's traffic at 3 p.m. And this guy ahead of me just cut off the cyclist. It's quite a shock to see bikes, cars, buses, motorcycles all merging together in one lane. It can be quite dangerous to cycle in an American city. I then go and meet some friends
Okay.
for a drink, and I meet all these techies. And of course, I get asked the popular question,
Hey, so what do you do? I make YouTube videos. Oh, so you work for YouTube and Google, right? No, I just make videos. Oh, okay.
So this is something that Americans do
Wow.
really well. We tend to compare ourselves against one another. It's a very competitive society. And we do this at a very young age. Which school, which college did you go to? What type of job, which company?
It's like a
who got
competition, like
promoted?
everything is a
It's
race.
part of the system. It's a very competitive society, in my opinion, compared to other societies. And I remember there was one time when I first started off my career, I was working in the Big Four accounting firm. And I went out to a bar with some friends. They were all investment bankers. And I was talking to this one girl who was an investment banker. And of course, we talked about what we did. And when I told her that I worked in a Big Four firm, she kind of looked down upon me and said something very judgmental,
Okay.
like, "Oh, you only work at a Big Four company." And so
That's
I
not
just
nice.
remember feeling very crappy at that point in time, like I wasn't good enough. But I don't blame her. It's the system that we grow up in. And we tend to judge each other based on what we do.
what a long...
Okay, that's a horrible system to like follow, honestly, guys. I don't know why it's like such a thing, like competition. If like someone is better than you, I mean, like you feel like you have the upper hand or something like that. But it doesn't work that way. You have to look at people's like personality, their character, like how they treating you. That is how the system should work, not comparing like money, jobs. That's not nice, honestly. So,
Exhausting
sunset,
day.
the end of
Just
the day.
another day in Hollywood. Just another day in the US of A.
Okay, that is a beautiful video, honestly. Great view here of the sunset as well by the beach. But wow, I actually really enjoyed this video. So, it's the first time I've actually reacted to this. David Wen. Wow, 2.8 million views. Crazy. Crazy. Oops. Here we are. So that was the end of this video. Let me know, guys, what you thought about it in the comments below. If you made it this far, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we will see you on the next one, guys. Thanks for watching, and peace out.